You're welcome to TechBiz Transformation Series. It's brought to you by Eco Innovation Center, and you know that already. We're here. TechBiz is about your growth as an entrepreneur and also the growth of your business. You want to get your business to a point where it thrives, it sustains, and indeed it begins to deliver the goals for which you set it up. For Eco Innovation Center, you know, we commercialize and accelerate innovation, especially innovation that is anchored on technology. So should you need our services, should you want to ask any questions, please shoot us an email, info@ecoinnovationhub.com, or you can go to the website and contact us from there. For us, it is about building the entrepreneurship ecosystem. So we bring thought leaders like we brought today, thought leaders and experienced entrepreneurs to share their knowledge, and they share that knowledge for free. So it's such a powerful platform, and we encourage you to take advantage of it. We also encourage you to tell other entrepreneurs or people who are thinking about entrepreneurship, get them to join because there's so much knowledge in here. This is the 39th episode of TechBiz, 39th week of which we're delivering and addressing the needs of entrepreneurs. We've covered so many topics: business planning, ideation, innovation, go-to-market strategies, sales strategies, how you raise capital, even legal topics. We've covered so much, right? So if you want to access any of the past episodes or you want to access today's episode at the end of it, just go to ecoicenter.com/webinar. So much knowledge sitting in that place. So today, so exciting, we're going to be talking about networking like a pro. They say your network is your net worth. Your network is your value. According to Robert Kiyosaki, I'm going to read what he said. He said that the richest people in the world, they look for and they build networks. The richest people in the world look for and build networks. That's what Robert Kiyosaki said, and he's the writer of Rich Dad Poor Dad. So networking is about building and maintaining relationships. But guess what? We struggle with it. Whether you're a man or a woman, we struggle with this concept of networking. That's why we brought an expert to discuss this topic, Joyce Daniels, also known as I Am Joyce Daniels. You're welcome, Joyce.
Thank you very much, Doja. Thanks to the entire team for inviting me.
And thank you for accepting. Joyce is a social engineering practitioner. She's a mindset and confidence coach. She's a speaker. She's a best-selling author. She's a nation builder with almost 30,000 followers on Instagram. So you see we're in good hands because she's definitely an expert to take us through this. And myself, I cannot wait to dive in. Joyce, you know what I really love about how you describe yourself as a mindset coach. And you know that our mind is the rudder that steers our lives. So in short, they say that our minds determine our lives. So, but then again, when we hear networking, some of us, we just freeze. You know, we're hesitant, we're shy, we're uncomfortable. In fact, some people, we just become uptight. So yes. Just please break it down for us. What is networking? And what is the mindset that we need to successfully network?
Thank you. Thank you very much for this question the answer to this question answers everything.
Everything.
So networking, in my opinion, is just connection. That's it. Forming the net, connecting one to the other. One reason I think people freeze when they think of connecting with other people is they are many times stuck on the idea that networking sells something. It doesn't sell anything. Networking just means meet someone. Simple. Many people who want to network to sell. So there is already that, where do I start from? Should I hit it? You sit and you say hello to the next person and you get to know who they are. That's a network. And they get to know who you are. That's forming a network. That's a connection. So the mindset for networking is each one meets one. We are all travelers on this journey, and we just want to make the journey more interesting. So I'm meeting other travelers like myself. I'm not meeting people who are superior to me or inferior to me. I'm meeting travelers, sojourners, just like me. So mindset, other travelers. Mindset also is, I have something to offer. I'm an interesting person, except you don't think you are. Then this is now a self-esteem issue. Self-esteem is defined as respect and regard for self. Do you respect and regard yourself? So this is a question I always ask in fora like this. And I say, do you give me a name of someone that you respect and regard? Many times, just because of time, let me use the examples that usually pop up. I see people say Chimamanda. I see people say Oprah Winfrey, or they call some names. And I say, if Oprah walked into this room now where we are all networking in a physical space, for example, and we're all seated and she has no seat, will you offer her your seat? And many people say, well, yes, I will. I said, why? I said, because I respect her so much. I regard her so much. I said, so do you regard yourself so highly that you collect a seat when you walk into a room or you stand in a corner? If the answer is no, it means we need to go through a process of building more respect and regard for yourself so that when you get in, you know that people are also privileged to meet you. You are so special. They didn't, it's the mindset is that of, I am someone that has something to offer and people will be glad to meet me, and they're also travelers on the journey. I will put that together for the mindset that is required for networking.
Thank you. People are privileged to meet me. I have something to offer. Each one meets one. So it's about establishing and creating a relation. Just connect. You said connect, create that connection, right? And don't think about it as, something big and huge. But then again, you deal with your inner self, self-worth, you said. One of the biggest fears of people is the fear of being rejected, right? Not being accepted. Will they accept me? Will they reject me, right? So I'm going to have a double-edged question for you. So how do you conquer? First is the fear of approaching people, right? Because I'm approaching people already with the fear of being rejected. Then how do you then handle when you are consistently rejected? So
let me start with the second question.
All right.
How do you handle consistently being rejected? If it is consistent, I would assume it has happened more than 3 times. Then I would ask, why am I being rejected? 3 people independent of each other cannot reject me for no good reason. There's a reason. So let's find the reason. It is not an emotional thing. It is purely logic. 3 people are rejecting me for a reason. What? And until we find that answer, we can't make progress. So I could postulate different possible scenarios. It could be that I have mouth odor, as simple as that. If it's a grooming issue, mouth or body, deal, fix. It could be I don't know how to say hello properly. It could be that I am too, what's the word now? Too
pushy, salesy.
Yes, salesy. It could be that I don't even know where to start. I don't know the how to network, and that's why I'm rejected. So when we find the reason, we will fix it. And I know I will talk about the how. Your other question was about how do I
conquer that fear?
Conquer the fear.
Approaching people.
Number
whether
1.
It is online or offline.
Yes. Fear of approaching people. I will go back to doing this to self. If you are there and you can hug yourself, please, I would ask you to do that and say, look, all this greatness in me, the world has to experience it. I can't be all this greatness and keep it all to myself. I am really honestly too awesome to be by myself. I will implode. I go back to worth. I know that I am super loaded with all sorts of beauty that people have to meet me. That eliminates my fear for me. So how much time do you have what I call your am moment. Your I am moment is when you say, I am a solution provider. I am a powerful networker. I am all the strengths that you know you have. So the question now is, do you know your strengths? Do you know your powers? So permit me to take something out of the Bible just as a reference point, not as a religious book. There are places in the Bible where God introduces himself to people and he says, oh, I'm the father, I'm the God of your father Abraham. I'm the one who owns all these mountains and the cattle on them. I am the one who did this. I'm the one who did that. I am, I am. So who am you? Who am you? Who will you say you am? Can you beat your chest and give me 5 I ams? I am an interesting speaker. I am a very good listener. I am not just about what I sell or what product I bring. Who am I? Who is Joyce? Who is Doja? Who is Amede? Who is Tega? Who is Dio? Who am we? This understanding of self is the beginning to overcoming the fear. Second thing in overcoming the fear is understanding the how to bridge the gap. Some people are afraid just because they don't know the first question to ask. They don't know the second question to ask. They don't know how to land. They don't know where to end. And we will talk about the hows here. And I believe it will greatly help people eliminate fear. But please do this. Please do this, everyone, where you are. Get used to doing this. I will also quickly add that failure is not a thing. Failure is feedback. Failure is only telling you something needs to be fixed. Failure is like the blinking of your tank, the light. What's that light in the dashboard that shows you when you need to top up your petrol tank? That light. Failure is that. Failure is telling you something needs to be topped up. Failure doesn't mean that the car has stopped moving. Failure is just saying, look, something needs to be topped up. And then you check, what do I need to top up? Maybe I need to top up my smile, my freshness, my grooming. Failure is not the end. It is feedback. I hope this answered the question so far.
Yes.
This is, I am big, very big.
Oh, no,
so someone might be asking, how do I say my I am without lying? If you're not sure what your am is, listen to what people have been saying to you. People can't all be lying. Some people might have been telling you, oh, you're such a great organizer. And you've been saying, I beg God, Joe, this is my organizing skill. What's so big about it? If up to 5 people have said it to you in your lifetime, you are. If 5 people have said to you, oh, I like the way you light up the room whenever you come in, don't laugh it off. Now go and pick it up and say, yeah, I am that person who lights up the room when I walk into a place. So take it also from what other people have said. I call that borrowing belief. Borrow other people's belief if they love you. And really, sometimes people tell you they're even strangers to you, but they say, well, I like the way you just answered that question. It's like, okay, I am what's filling that blank space.
How can an SME penetrate into a big brand companies for contract opportunities?
I would use the 5 W's and 1 H, which I call the solution to life. What are they looking for in that big company? Do you know? Question number 1. Who in that company should I be going to speak with, to ask questions, to be connected to? Why would they want to buy from me? Why would they want me to be one of their suppliers? Another W, what is unique about me, or what is special about what I have? Why me? Why? Where do I need to go? Where do I need to search for these answers? When should I make my move? How do I go about the process? Please, somebody write in the chat 5 W's and 1 H. There's so many, in no particular order. It is who, what, where, when, why, or when, where, why, who, what, and how. So I would ask, you want to get into the company, but what do they need? What are they looking for? Do you know what their top 5 or top 10 needs are? Or are you assuming? Sometimes we're not sure what the needs are, but we know what we want to sell. So it's not one answer fits all. It is, let's break it down and then start asking the other questions. How do I even get in? How do I get noticed? The people in the procurement department, do I know them? Who are they? Do I know their names? Have I found them on LinkedIn? What are their LinkedIn profiles? Where do they have fun? When they are not at work, where are they? You see questions? How do I connect with them beyond LinkedIn, where I say, hi, my name is this and this is what I sell? No. When can we meet for a drink? Where can I hang out just to get to know you better? And in that situation of discussion, perhaps we can also talk some business. You hear that a lot of business deals take place in clubs, at golf courses, at lounges, much more than in offices. Well, it is, I don't know if there's any statistic to prove it, but I know it's been said over and over and over again that many business deals take place everywhere outside the office. So where are you meeting them, these people in this large organization that you want to get to? You see all my questions? That gives food for thought, food for action.
I think you are absolutely correct about knowing your targets, knowing them in depth, and going from the mindset of, I want to help them solve a problem, not that I just want to sell my own products to them. So indeed, if you understand them deeply enough and know, these questions you ask, actually, they are almost endless, right? Which is, you can just check and see, understanding to the depth, and then coming up with what can indeed solve their real problem, not their
real problem. Yes.
Fantastic.
So I can give you an example that some people might have overlooked since we're talking about networking. I've met several people who I want to do business with. I've met them on planes, I've met them at events, but because we don't just sell, networking is not selling, networking is connecting. We save each other's numbers, and the kinds of things I put up on my WhatsApp status, for example, build relationships. I put up my exercise video. Sometimes I put up pictures of, fun, and then they connect on this level. And then every few weeks I sell. And guess what? They feel more
connected to you.
Connected. And so they want to know more about this product that I'm talking about because they've been watching me connect with them. Some people say, oh, Joyce, thank you so much. I started exercising again because of the number of videos you put up. You're such an encouragement. That person is more likely to buy from me because remember, I'm a blessing. I'm a solution provider. And in my WhatsApp status, I have blessed them. I have provided some solutions. Sometimes I can talk about my coach, my workout coach, and say, hey, this is this guy's number. He is so good. Y'all need to reach out to him. I've solved somebody's problem. Sometimes I put up and say, hey, this is where I bought this thing from. This is so good. You need to buy from here. And they say, oh, thank you. Oh, this is this coach that I've worked with. Oh, connect with her. And they go, oh, thank you. I'm solving problems. But it's also bringing connections and building trust. So I'm just painting scenarios that some of us can see and say, oh, yeah, I think I need to try that. Connect.
I think it is that, how do we just move from, sharing business cards and just say, oh, here's my card. Like, can I have your card? I'm sure it happens to you, Joyce. You go to so many events and they just collect your cards, right? And we become card collectors. How do I move from there to actually creating lasting connections that yield fruit for me?
Have a plan for every event you attend, online or offline. I say a very safe number to plan to connect with is 5. Anything more than one handful, especially if it's a one-day program, can be overwhelming because also, of course, depends on the time. So have a plan for 5 people. I'm going to know them by name and I'm going to remember their names over the next few months to few years. I'm going to know them beyond this event, meaning I'm going to take this relationship forward. It's not going to end here. I'm going to know about their families, about their history. When I say history, like where they studied, where they went to school, what they like. And I am going to plan when next we will meet after now. That's a lot of planning. That's a lot of planning. You see why I would say 3 to 5. So if you get into a place, you look at you have a plan, right? 5, you look at the people and then we can start eliminating, or we can start choosing. You can choose people who look like you in terms of the way you are dressed. That's a way to choose. You can you can choose people who look completely different from you. Now, these are just ways I choose. I could pick people who look much younger than me or much older than me. Or I could look out for people who look about my age. I could look out for people who are standing alone and go to them and start by saying, are you also avoiding meeting people the way I have been avoiding meeting people? And the person, but you see, the how matters. You can't just say, are you also avoiding meeting people the way? No. Like, are you also doing that? And the person looks at you and has this smile like, oh, well done. And go, okay, so let me corner you. I hope you don't mind if you see, you're easing in and the person says, I don't mind. Don't worry, I won't tell anybody that both of us are trying to stay away. So my name is Joyce. And what's your name? So you be the first to lead. When you lead, please, 70% of the time, let the other person talk. How's that? So ask questions. Why are you here today? Why did you decide to come? Have you been here before? Is this your first time being here? Oh, fantastic. Oh, really? The last time you came, what experience did you have? Please share some insights with me so I can know what to look out for. Tell me 2 things I should look out for. Oh, what speaker are you looking forward to listening to today? Then you can chip in and say, I'm really looking forward to listening to Joyce Daniels. And, oh, yeah, you see, you're leading and the person is responding. Guess what happens when you let other people lead so much? They tend to feel indebted to you and they begin to ask you questions too. More often than not. Sometimes they will not, but more often than not, they will throw the questions back at you and say, okay, you two, tell me about yourself. Then you can say things about yourself without selling anything, please. Just talk about you and all the interesting things about you. Exchange numbers. These days, I try as best I can not to collect cards. And when people ask me for my cards, I say, I can punch your number right in immediately. And I ask, do you mind your WhatsApp number so that I can stay with you? And they go, oh, I don't mind. And you punch that in and I quickly send a message and say, hi, Dodger, it was nice meeting you today. And she's like, oh, you've already sent me a message. Like, exactly. That way, I'm leaving a trail. So we're already getting into the how. You can look for you can look for a group of people who already have like 4 or 5 people with them, and you walk into them and say, I think it's easier for me to meet 4 people that are all standing together. I hope you guys don't mind if I join this team. And they go, no, come on in and say, okay, my name is Joyce. Okay, so who is introducing? And then Dodger starts introducing everybody else on the team and says, okay, that's Malam Jamil, that's Samuel, that's Amede. Okay, Amede, you can ask a question. Oh, Amede, tell me something about, did I hear Amede? What kind of name is Amede? Is that a Nigerian name? I've never heard it before. What does Amede mean? I hope you don't mind my asking. You see, you've started asking questions about the person of Amede, not what just Amede does. And Amede says, oh, I'm from Cameroon. Oh, really? How long have you lived in Nigeria? You've been here 4 years. Do you have a Nigerian name? I can give you a name. And then you see, you're even laughing. Laughter brings connection. You see, because I'm thinking about connecting, not selling. I want to talk about you, your name, where you're from, who you are, why, what you enjoy. And then of course we can talk about what you do and link it all up together. But when I take away the fact that I am not here to sell, I think I also become a bit more relaxed to talk about here. So, and I see maybe somebody's wearing something that has a sports club. And I say, oh, is that an Arsenal band you're wearing there? Oh, you're a fan? And I go, oh, I'm a Chelsea supporter myself. You've gone into sports. I would advise to stay away flaming topics. Flaming topics usually will be politics and religion. They tend to stare. It's just safe to stay away and say, oh, are you APC, PDP? Hey, no flame here, please. But let's stay within. Sports can be flaming, but usually it's flaming fun or fun flame. So it's okay to meddle in there. And somebody says, okay, I attended University of Lagos. If this event right now is holding in Lagos, I can say I attended University of Lagos. Any other Akuka, and hey, we're together.
Did you, Joyce? Did you attend Unilag?
No, I did not.
Okay. You're not an akokite. So
No, I'm an
stop
akokite
using us as
by
example.
networking, because I know many of the akokites. I am now an akokite by association,
There we
right?
go.
So the akokites will hail, and then somebody else says, look at you, we greatest Ife, we're here. Somebody says, unique imports, we're here. And you see, we've begun to form some sort of camaraderie, connect. If you're wherever you are, even if I can't see you can just do this, connect. We're connecting on a level. I will give you a rule of thumb. When you meet someone for the first time, if you can, this is something I do, mention the person's name up to 6 times within the first 60 seconds of meeting them. You're more likely to remember their name. So if I meet Dodger for the first time, I go, Dodger, what kind of name is Dodger? Is that a short form? And says, oh, please, what's it? Is it a short form? It's a real question now.
Indeed. Oh.
Yes.
Yes, it is. My full name is Ade Dodger.
Ade Dodger. That's such a unique name. What does it mean? You see, I've mentioned your name 3 times already in less than 60 seconds, but please tell me the meaning.
The meaning is the family is getting bigger. The family is getting wealthier. The crown is bringing wealth in.
Okay, Ade Dodger, I hope you don't mind if I ask, what was happening? Why did your parents give you that? You see, I'm getting to know you, Ade Dodger. But you see, I'm also using that clause. I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't mind, because someone is asking about private life. I hope you don't mind. So I want to ask with respect for boundaries, because I might say, I hope you don't mind I ask. And Dodger will say, no, I don't really like to talk about my name. It's just, but let's talk about something else. And I say, oh, fantastic. Moving on. What would you like to talk about, Dodger? Dodger might say, okay, maybe sports. I've given Dodger the reins to lead the conversation. Now, Tega, please, just because I'm seeing that and it's put in capital letters, how can I manage my private life? I asked 5 questions, no, 6, 5 W's and 1 H. What about your private life is? Why? Why do you want to? Why? What are you keeping? What is that thing? What part of your life don't you want touched? And why? Is it about your relationship, sexual relationship? What? Your education status? What? The reason I ask is sometimes I might find that there's something you're hiding. And when I say hiding, I don't mean from shame. No, I don't mean from an illegal point of view. It's something that has been undealt with. For example, I had a child when I was in university and I wasn't married, right? That's private life, but that's also not private anymore, because I can keep it so private, it becomes.
Indeed,
I'm always wondering, nobody should go there. Nobody should go there. Guess what happens to me? I'm not living anymore. I'm actually just constantly in shackles. So that's a conversation that we might need to take privately. What about your private life is an issue? What? And then, of course, confidence, courage. You can say to someone, oh, no, I don't like to talk about my relationships here. No, it's fine. That's private to me. It's okay for you to say that. It's fine. No is a complete sentence. No, it's a full sentence, complete, long one. Oh, no, I don't like to talk about that. Can we talk about, you see, when you say no to somebody about talking about something in your life, please, courtesy demands you suggest something else. Can we talk about travel, for example? With this COVID, I mean, where have we been able to travel to? Even going to Ibadan initially or at some point was a challenge. You've changed the topic. There is something called social intelligence, not just emotional, social, where you're watching what's happening around you. Sometimes you can notice that the people around you have a certain body language. Mm-hmm. If you see like they're looking a certain way, you might ask, is anybody hungry? And they go, yeah. Can we all move toward the food table or the canapes table, or what we call the small chops table? And that way you're moving focus, you're breaking state, you're taking people somewhere. There's so much to say about networking.
So much to say, right? Okay, so let me ask Amede's question, and I think you've dealt with it. Said, what is rejection in this case? Which could be a case of a no, or you reach out to somebody and the person doesn't return your call or your message, or you try to add somebody on social media and the person just, of course, doesn't accept your invite, and the case may be. But the point is, when we are not selling anything, but networking. So all you're trying to do is network. And here you talked about connection. You want to build a relationship. Now, on the one side is building the relationship. The next step is maintaining the relationship. So now I'm going to get there, right?
Wow.
So, so I've met you, right? Joyce, in any case, in this conversation, I probably called you 100 times already. So, I've called you. I remember your name. I've even started following you on social media. I'm one of the 30,000 followers that you have on Instagram. I'm part of the population of Joyce Daniels' country. And now, how do I maintain that relationship, that I'm able to take it even further, that it then becomes an exchange of value?
Question is, why do you want to maintain the relationship? Is it because you really just want me in your corner, or you still just want to sell something to me ultimately? If you want me in your corner, then make a move and offer something. Like I've had people say to me, or I've heard people send messages to me and say, would you like to just sit out for lunch one of these weekends? And believe me, a few times I've said yes. And I've had lunch with some very amazing people who, the truth is, I may not have found out in that 20-something thousand number of people, but they made the move and they say, okay, where are you? And I go, oh, I'm in this area. And they go, would you mind meeting somewhere around here? And I go, no, not at all. And I go and we have fun. So we connect, because some of them just want to connect for connection's sake. Then some want to sell me something. Those who I have bought something from are those who I saw did their homework. So in their space with me, they watched, they observed. Remember, I asked about the corporation. Do you know what they want? Mm-hmm. Do you know what they're looking for? And somebody says to me, oh, I've watched you for so long, and I realized that you like to exercise. And I have these set of kettlebells that I think will be good for you, blah, blah, blah. I also noticed that I've never seen you use kettlebells in any of your videos. And I go, girl, you just sold your kettlebells to me. How much are they? Because she watched. She didn't just come to me and say, hey, I have exercise equipment. No, she noticed what was missing. And she didn't tell me, buy my kettlebells or die. She said, it will be good. And should you need something else, I have this and that, and this might be good for your wrists. She's not selling me too many things at the same time. She's just bringing my attention to the fact. But because she mentioned kettlebell, I know that she was observing that I had none. Unlike the other person who comes to me to say, hey, I see you're a fitness buff. I have all these wonderful accessories for you. Boxing gloves, this, Thank you. Kettlebells, thank you. Give me some. Is there a difference?
There's a big difference, because that person demonstrated they had an interest in you. They researched, you had talked about research earlier, and curiosity. They kept checking, where are the gaps? How can I be of value, real value, genuine value to Joyce? It's beyond just, I want to sell, and I give you a whole reel of products that I offer, and then, if you're not even interested, because everybody's trying to sell you something anyway. So it looks like, oh, this person is only interested in my money. This person is not interested in me. I love that example that you have given. Yeah. Fantastic.
Now, Remy, please, I'm taking the green flip-flops. I'll send you my address. And what can I offer in exchange? Lunch? Yes, Samuel is saying it's like wooing a woman and turning that woman into a prospective client. I want to add that even if she doesn't turn into a client, you would have made a good relationship. You would have had a good person in your corner. So rejection could be you were not able to sell, but you are able to keep the relationship, value the relationship. You may not sell today. You may sell tomorrow. You might sell 3 years from now. That sense of urgency sometimes is the problem. I need to sell this week. Some people stay around you for 4 years before they buy one thing from you, because maybe that's when they actually think they need that thing you have thought they need for 4 years. But because you've stayed around friendly, and you may not talk forever, but once in a while, let me tell you something else I do. Once in a while, I send a video note, not a voice note, and not a text on WhatsApp. I record myself. This is my phone, and I record. Hi, Dodger. How are you? It's been a long time. I just thought to say hello. Remember we met at the so-and-so, we met at the Echo Innovation Program? All right. I just felt to wish you well. Have a great week. Bye. How's that for staying in touch? And I send that video.
How's that for standing out?
And the person might have forgotten. You know, some people forget faces and names, even though they have it saved. They might have saved it as Echo Innovation Joyce. But now when they're seeing the name, they're like, Echo Innovation, what did I go to Echo Innovation for? Where is Echo Innovation safe? You've forgotten, because that was 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And then when you see the video, you're like, oh, I do remember her. Oh yeah, there was that late. I'm just trying to stay fresh.
Joyce, I want to share with you something about aligned path. It's a theory about, understanding the other person's path, where they want to go and how you can help them get there. So the example that I'd heard connected to this aligned path was a gentleman who wanted to meet this really famous entrepreneur, author, and best-selling speaker, all of that. And then this guy writes a note to this person to say, I read your book, right? And it changed my life. And I took these specific points in your book, I executed it, I did this, I did that, and it helped me build my business. So I'm a perfect case study that your strategies work. So now I would like to meet you in person so that I can share with you more and even demonstrate to your community that your strategies work. What do you think happens?
Of course, it was granted.
There we go. So it's about aligned path, understanding where that person wants to go and how to help them, because every single one of us there's so many things that we need, right? And there's value that you, Joyce, can add to me. Malam, Tega, Damilola, every single person can add value to the next person, but you bring that to the fore. Malam, you asked how can startups be assisted through this webinar? I said it at the beginning. Please go to echoicenter.com. You will see, the various ways that we support entrepreneurs. And please, you can get in touch with us, info@echoinnovationhub.com. info@echoinnovationhub.com. Elvis, if you can please put that email in the chat box so that everyone can see it. I think maybe I can ask this question generally. So when we network for a very certain purpose, beyond, it's not that I just want to create a relationship with this person, I actually want this person's money. How can we navigate that space? I cannot wait the long haul that it takes to woo, to bring you to my side, to generally, let's say, cultivate a long-term right from the beginning. How can I just create that network when all I want at this point is the person's money?
So I would ask that you take away the word network at that time and say, how can I sell to this person? Two different things. How can I sell? In selling, what does the person who is trying to buy need? In selling, there's something called a buyer's gap. When I create the anticipation of that person's need for what I have. So I can ask the person questions. If I could show you a way to increase your investment by 25% over the next 6 months, is that something you'll be willing to do? And the person says yes. If I could also show you that this investment opportunity is safe and we would use this and this is this as guarantees, would you want to see? The person goes yes again. And 3, if I could finally show you that you will do this, and get that, and the person says, show me already, it's okay to have 3 layers of increasing or widening the buyer's gap. And then you say to the person, this is the opportunity. Simple. This is what it is. This is how much it will cost you. This is what you can make in 6 months or 1 year or 6 years. And this is how we protect your investment. This is the safety. You've sold. You're selling. You're not trying to network. You came straight to the business and went to their need. I would ask, of course, in selling, or I would add that in selling, we still do homework. Go and find out background as best you can about this person, as best you can. Else, you now network first to find out while you're conversing to know what angle to sell from. But at that time, please know that your purpose is to sell. So don't mix it up, because I see synesthesia, that place where you're like, am I networking? Am I selling? Choose, choose. Choose ye this day which thou shalt do. Shall thou sell or shall thou connect?
Network.
And yes, you may have both. But if your purpose is to sell, then learn to sell. Learn how to negotiate. Learn where and when, 5 W's again, to meet, to sell. Learn how to catch the person's interest in what it is you're selling. Meaning, understand the value of what you're selling to people. Are you selling happiness through homes? Are you selling security through homes? I am not just selling a house, I'm selling security. I'm selling the fact that you no longer need to pay rent. I'm selling the fact that you can have people pay you rent. When you live in a house, it's no longer an asset, it's just there because it's diminishing in value as long as you are living in that house. But when someone else is living there and paying you, then it's an asset. So I'm giving you the opportunity to own assets. Okay. Now that you've put it that way.
But if you're living there, it's also cost avoidance, huh? Because if you don't live there, you live somewhere else and you pay there.
Now, language, the person selling, how do you use your language? Who are you even speaking to? If I'm speaking to a Dodger who knows this and I put it in a certain way, I know Dodger knows it. But if it's somebody else, I can change my language. It's without lying. Just change the language and the person becomes more interested, more picked. Not just, I have 10 houses for sale in Ikeja. Come and buy.
3-bedroom flat is affordable. Come and buy.
So these things matter.
Standards.
Yes. Your selling point might actually even be your payment plan. And you say, I have these fantastic homes for sale. The difference between mine and those which other people offer is my payment plan is absolutely amazing. We have this payment plan. You could do this, do that, and this is what you get. What do you think? Can we talk about this more? Is it something that, what's unique about yours?
I love it, right? And when you talked about understanding who you're selling to and tweaking your language. So people had asked this question previously to say, when you want to connect with people who are outside of your circle, right? So let's say you need to sell to billionaires because what you are selling is in the hundreds of millions, right? Now, these people are outside of your circle because you are not yet a billionaire. In that situation, how do you engage? Where do you even find them? And how do you navigate that space?
I use the 5 W's and 1 H again. That's, for me, the solution to life. Why do you want to sell to billionaires? Is it possible that you could sell to somebody else who will sell to them? Who in your entire network on this face of the earth can take you to somebody who can take you closer to their circle? Your who's. How did you reach those who's to take you in there? What mosque do they attend? What church do they attend? What cell fellowship do they belong to? Why aren't you there? Or how do you change to belong there? It's as serious as this. It might seem flimsy, but it's serious. So you hearing things like, they're completely out of my reach. Someone somewhere can get me there. Let me start checking for all maybe it's even my uncle's wife's stepfather that is related to the third cousin of this person. But you would only know when you ask. Ask, what university do they attend? Where's their alumni? Do they attend alumni meetings? Who do I know in that alumni association? You're asking all the questions. If you will ask those questions hard and long enough, you will start finding answers.
Ask the questions. Ask the questions. I have a story about this that you said, Joyce, and it came from really my younger age. I wanted to go to Unilag, and that's where I wanted to go, and that's where I eventually went. And my father said that his friend's mother attends the same mosque as the VC. We will find a way. And that's what happened. And that is what happened. So I love that analogy that you gave. They say that you are only 2 people away from the person you want to network with. you are only two people. And that story I just told you is an exact example of that. We're just two people away from the person that we needed. And it worked. I mean, the door opened, right? Listen, guys, I think the thing is, it starts here. And Joyce is a mindset coach. So that's why you are talking about the 5 W's and H. You're talking about, what my thought process is. You're talking about how I bring my mind into the kind of actions that I bring. You said, when I say, they're out of my reach, that's a mindset. No?
Block.
Joyce? That's a
Block.
mindset. Yes.
Yes.
Fantastic. Guys, I'm still waiting for your questions. Ask questions. If you want me to unmute you so you can ask your question verbally, please raise your hand. We have exactly 10 minutes. David's hand is raised. David, I'm asking you to unmute. Please do so you can ask your question.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, David.
Okay, Mrs. Joy, I must commend your intelligent lecture.
Thank you, David.
This is my first time of participating in this live Zoom training.
Welcome.
Now, I have a few questions that I want to address the situation we face these days. When you go on in LinkedIn, you'll find out that so many people project themselves as your potential prospects. They are all CEOs, or they are the right contact person according to their profiles.
Okay.
Only for you to pitch yourself and possibly meet the person and find out that the person is you are supposed to even be the person's helper. And and it could be so discouraging, So how do you get to know who is the actual person? Or do you keep just taking it, keep being disappointed? You meet the person who claimed to be one CFO of one organization, you are yet to hear, you Google it, because digital knowledge is everywhere. So they already have posted on the internet, have possibly a good and attractive website with good content that sounds like what you really want, only for you to meet them in person and find out that, man, this person should actually be in your employment.
Yeah. Okay, David. There are different ways to it. Few things to take away. When we celebrate people like Thomas Edison, who, as it were, failed 1,000 times before they made breakthroughs, or Henry Ford, or those who ran for 10,000 plus hours before they created new world records like Usain Bolt and co. And those like Steve Jobs, who were fired from their jobs and the companies where they owned, but made a comeback decades later. That's reality. That's real life. Disappointment is part of life. Mental toughness is the ability to bounce back after you've been disappointed. So the answer to that question you asked is yes, you keep trying. You don't stop. You try again. Another thing I find is when I find people on LinkedIn, I usually try go find them on Facebook. Facebook tends to show the lifestyle side of people that LinkedIn doesn't show. Mm-hmm. And many times on Instagram, you can't even find them because they use all sorts of names and underscores and dots. And so I go to Facebook. Sometimes I see the true picture on Facebook. And then if I can't, there are leading questions to ask. Depending on what I'm selling, I can even ask some leading questions before we meet. And if it's not who I think they are, don't take it as failure or disappointment. I would advise that you take it as lessons. What did I learn from this experience? And what can I carry over to the next experience? And they may not be able to buy from you today, but keep them in your buckets, keep them in your funnel. They will grow. They will be your clients tomorrow. Mind. Person will not buy from me today. Don't mean say the person no go hammer. And when they hammer, they'll come looking for me. So don't shut the door, close it gently, because you might need to open it again. I think I've given three different things in that one answer.
Excellent.
3 different points.
Chache, you want to ask a question? We have 6 minutes.
Yes.
So
Malam Jamil's hand was up too for a while.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Joy.
Good evening. Hi, Chache.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. You called the name very well. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
there's something that I went through, and I still, I want to ask a question really about it. Like, I have a problem with making definite decisions quickly. And I think this is not about networking. I just wanted to ask this question since I see very strong, brilliant minds speaking, So I have a mind that gives me a lot of ideas, and then I find it difficult to choose what to do at an instant time. So it makes me sleep on a lot of these things and not accomplishing a lot. So I want to know how you make decisions quickly. What helps you, and what's the motivation? Like, how do you do this? This is my question.
May I answer that?
Please, go ahead.
You see this journal for all sorts of writings, and you see this, a pen. Idea comes in. To make it simple to easy, number one, you must write it down. It is not negotiable. You don't think, you write. Idea, this. Then you write by the side 5 W's and 1 H. When do I want to do this? Why do I want to do this? Who am I doing it with? Would it be, where is this? How do I proceed? If there are 5 of them, draw 5 lines and analyze 5 of them, writing. When you commit to writing, your brain takes on decision-making mode faster than when you're just thinking. That's pure science. I have an anatomy degree. That's physiology. That's studying what the brain, how the brain acts. So to make decisions quickly, write and eliminate by writing. I call it the simple to easy process. Write all the information, pros and cons, advantages and disadvantages. If I want to do this now, what are the advantages? 1, 2, 2. That's critical thinking, but you see, you must write. And then when you're looking at all the things you've written at the same time, it's easier to say, okay, I can do this first. Then please, by all means, do. Please, do. The length of time between decision and doing will affect whether you really do or not. The more time you spend between when you made the decision and when you take action, the more time you spend, the less likely you are to take action. So take action quickly. The moment and remember, failure is feedback. Failure is not the end. So if you fail, take feedback and try again.
Awesome. Thank you. Write it down and act quickly. Write it down, assess, make the assessment, and make sure that you are acting quickly. I unmuted Malam Jamil because I know that he had been raising his hand for some time. Somehow, I think we now lost him because I can't seem to find his hand again. Can you find him?
Yes, I've seen him here and I'm asking him to unmute.
Thank you very much.
Okay, he's live now.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Malam Jamil.
Good evening.
Be part of the program today. Very insightful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
This is my first time of attending this live webinar. My question is this, ma. Hello?
Yes, please, Malam, we can hear you.
Yeah, I've laid my hands on several things in the past, but I could see that the thing was not, they were not successful. It's like one, meets failure on the way. What I think now is, I assume I need mentorship. I don't know how to do that with you. How can you help people to get mentorship, great mentorship, to move on what one wants to do? And at the same time, my second question is in line with that second question, that indecision about several ideas. I have them written down, but I don't know how to go about them. I have several ideas. That's my question. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Malam Jamil.
Do we want to take one last question or
Femi,
answer them together?
So let's ask Femi to unmute. Femi, could you unmute yourself? Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Femi. Thank you.
Hi, Femi.
Yeah, okay, I just want to add, almost in line with what is said. Okay, my own challenge is that I'm a very young man and I know I have a good and very bright future ahead of me. But my challenge precisely is that even things I know I can do very well, if it's not pressing on me, I would eventually not do it. And the truth is, this thing actually cost me in my university. For me, I know I'm a first class product. I was telling somebody I work with today, and he was just looking at me. He knows that too. But like, I would just not do it until, and I know it's a problem. I just don't know how to get over it. I don't know if there's anything you could help with.
Okay, so Femi is dealing with maybe procrastination. Lufuno, thank you for that feedback. Lufuno says he feels truly empowered. Thank you. Now we're running over time, but still there are questions. I'm going to take Kunle. Could I add Kunle's question to the list, please? And Joyce, you can connect with Joyce on Instagram. I am Joyce Daniels. So please connect with her on Instagram. Kunle, I'm asking you to unmute. Please unmute quickly so you can ask your question.
Okay, thank you, madam. I've been one of your ardent follower on Innovation Center. So
Thank you
for
very
putting
much.
this together. So my question is straightforward. I'm actually looking forward to build something that will help my community, and I've been on it for a very several years in terms of digging deep, trying to do your research before going live. So my question is, does it worth the wait? Like people always say that it's always good to do your research, do your product design and the like. So is it good to just go venture into the market and get your feedback, then work on it? Or before going live, can you do your internal research, ask questions before saying you want to go live? Do you get my question? My question is it good
Very
to
clear.
test
It's
the
clear. It's
product
clear.
in the
We got
market?
it.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. If you get the
We
question,
got it.
then it's fine. Yeah.
Yes. Kunle, thanks a lot. And thanks for consistently joining. And I'm sure it's really added value to you. Joyce, give it to us.
It's amazing that all these questions have nothing to do with networking per se. But it's fine.
But
let me
commit to dealing and dealing with people's pain points.
Yes.
And you can see Pius also is asking about laziness and many ideas. How do we execute?
Okay, so let me just quickly use this to make a statement, please, since we're talking about networking as the topic, that this is possibly one of the reasons why people get rejected during networking, because place and time are not for the discussion at hand. Place and time may not be for the discussion being brought up. The topic announced for today is networking. Many people want to talk about other things. We will, because we've committed to. But if this was a networking situation, guess what happens to you and I, Doja? We shut down.
We shut down, yeah.
Quickly. Yeah, and go, this person is not serious. This is not the place I came to talk about something like this. I came here to chill with my friend, not to talk about business. I'm using this to explain what could happen in a networking situation. So with laziness, I always say there are many questions I need to ask why you're being lazy, what you're being lazy about. Perhaps you are not lazy about something else, but you don't think that that is the thing that is your big deal. For example, I speak for a living. I have talked for 14 years. I have earned for talking. I have not lifted anything. I talk. But I could have been trying to kill myself, trying to sell houses. But somebody will say to me, oh, Joyce, you speak very well. You can teach people how to speak. I beg, now speak in person, go chop. I beg you, let me sell my billion house. And I will keep struggling, trying to sell the house. Whereas the thing that could have taken me around the world, I have not looked at because it was too easy. For goodness sake, how does somebody become known around the world for running? We all run. But he runs for less than 10 seconds, 100 meters, because he gives some more attention to it. So it could be that you're looking at the wrong. I'm throwing possibilities. I'm not sure which it is. So your laziness could be tied to something bigger, which could be maybe you're in the wrong place. That's why you're lazy about it. Maybe it's not exciting enough. If there is excitement with it, you tend not to be lazy. So that's one. Asking about intellectual ways to overcome laziness. Yes, there are. There is interventions. There are neuro-linguistic programming interventions where you could sit with somebody in a chair for 15 minutes and they take you through a very simple process where you close your eyes, answer certain questions, and they switch your belief immediately. And in 15 minutes, you stop being lazy because of a particular intervention done. You pay for that service. Some people, it's a psychological process. So you go to a psychologist who knows the tool and you pay for it, and they might charge you as much as or as little as only 200,000 to take your laziness away for the rest of your life. Please go and pay quickly. Somebody was asking about live venture versus testing first. There's no hard answer. It is, what's your courage level? What's your courage level? How hungry are you and how willing are you to try? There is nothing cut in stone in the entire world. Some people went straight to market and succeeded. Some people tested with 100 people and still failed. So we try, then we trust. We trust, we get feedback, which people call failure, and we try again. So I would say just try depending on how confident you feel. But if it's something that should be tested first, please test it. Don't come sell me something that if I ask you how it works, don't say, oh, I think it's supposed to. No, test it at home first, please, before you bring it out to me. Try.
I think also, Joyce, to add something there is, if you want partners, if on that journey, you must go through a structured experimentation. You have to test and you have to go through the due diligence. There's no other way around it. You want investors, you want grants, you want funders. No, you can't, unless you, I mean, if it's 100% you deciding from beginning to the end, yes, you can jump into it. But outside of that, and depending on how technical your solution is, maybe it's an app, maybe it's technology, maybe it's food, or you had better have gone through the full testing before you launch into the market. So I like what you say, it's situational. Now I'm going to target for you, Joyce, to end at 6:10. So you answer the last question and then we wrap up. Does that work for you?
Yes, 100% it does.
Thank you.
Prioritizing. Someone who says there's so many ideas, but I could put things off for the last minute. That might tell me that you've not written things to go through prioritizing process. It's an intellectual process. It's something you do. And you get better the more you do. There's no shortcut to it. You just start prioritizing and writing, this is what I will do on Monday. This is what is important to me on Tuesday, and do it. There's no other. I wish there was a way I could say, lay your hands and then pray like this for 5 minutes and raise it and to be done. No, you will do what you said you will do. And then you give yourself a pat on the back for getting it done. Know also that what some people call procrastination is not procrastination. For some people, it is your style, but you've labeled it with a bad name. Some people do well when they keep things to the last minute because they can, but somebody else has labeled it procrastination. Please be careful not to label your strength a weakness, especially if when it is last minute, you do a good job. Then if you think you do well last minute, I'll just ask you to have a checklist. What are the things you should remember? Remember to write your letter, use a letter heading or a letterhead paper. Remember to do this, remember to do that, remember to sign at the end, remember to click this, that. So have a checklist to guide you regardless of when you're going to do a thing. It may not be procrastination, it may be your style. And asking for mentorship, Doja, I'm going to throw that to you. Indecision, I would say, is the same thing. You prioritize, you write, you eliminate, you ask questions, and sometimes you get a second pair of brains to think with you, or second set of brains, or second, third, fourth set of brains to think with you, which is where mentorship may come in. I am not very big on mentorship. I'm very big on paying to learn, because many times we see mentorship as free. And I've seen people where they say, oh, this person is offering a paid mentorship program. It's like, why is she offering a paid mentorship? Can't she just? There's no just. If you want sound education, you pay sound money for it. The best schools in the world remain the most expensive. I am big on paying to learn and learning from anybody else along the way. So please, over to you for mentorship.
Fantastic. Listen, mentoring, I think it's a real personal journey. And like you say, well, if it's been charged for, why not? If it's not been charged for also, it's just fine. Because the thing is, you want to see, or you want to follow people who have walked the journey. Right? You know what they say, follow who know road. So you want to learn, and you want to make sure that you are avoiding, pitfalls. Yes, exactly. And, giving yourself the best chance for success. So should you find mentors who are willing, of course, to offer that for free? Of course, people say that what you offer for free is undervalued. Depends. Yeah, exactly. It all absolutely depends. But the thing that I would always say when it comes to mentoring, when it comes also to networking, is there must be mutual value. There must be mutual value. You cannot just be a taker. There's something about social capital. It's like a bank account, right? You are depositing, you're also withdrawing. If there's no money in your account, you go to ATM, what will happen? You won't get anything. So if you're looking for mentoring, there must be some value that you are also bringing to that person. You said, I have something to offer. People are privileged to meet me. So if I am your mentor and you believe I'm privileged to meet you, what value are you offering to me as well? We're going to wrap up now. Joyce, I'm going to say, you started by the I ams. Guys, please put in the chat box the I am for Joyce. She is intelligent, she is smart, she's obviously hardworking, she's extremely knowledgeable, she's passionate, she's sharing that knowledge, she's widely read, in fact, she's a solution herself, she's beyond the solution provider. Every single question you have asked today, she has provided an answer. She's so insightful, she brings a different angle to every answer. She knows what it means to stimulate your thinking and stimulate your mind, and she drives you. But you see, Joyce is a mind resetter. There we go. Hard reset.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you so much, Joyce. Pius is even reinforcing that you just solved one of his long problems. Thank you. You're welcoming. You're expressive. People are following you on Instagram. We're joining Joyce country, Joyce Daniels country. We're becoming part of your population. Thank you for taking this. Right? It's about networking. It's about building relationships. It's about, if I don't remember anything, I remember this: connection, creating that connection. You're 2 to 3 people away from the person that you really want to meet. So indeed, create that connection. Is each one meets one. That's how you started, right? I wrote some notes. 5 W's and H. What, why, when, who, and why, and then the how. So 5 W's and H, please do not forget, and you draw it up in advance, the planning stage. Joyce talked about that. You plan in advance, whether I'm meeting you online, whether I'm meeting you offline in an event, or wherever it is that we're meeting, you're planning, you're being intentional about it. Be careful. Networking, selling, potentially 2 different things. And, define what your objective really is on meeting that person. But whichever one it is, whether it is networking or selling, you have to make sure that you are helping the person solve the problem. Joyce's example, don't just come to me with a long list. I'm selling this, I'm selling that, I'm selling that. Have observed the person. Be curious. Do your research and understand where the gap is and how you are helping to bridge that gap that is in the individual or in the company's, or in the company's life. Joyce, is there anything we should have known that you didn't say to us?
That I love you. I love you. I love you, and I'm rooting for your success, because your success is my success. Your success is the success of this country. So I need you to succeed. I am praying for the success of every over 70 of us that were here today, or over 80 at some point. Succeed. That's my earnest prayer for you. I love you.
Thank you, Joyce. We love you too, and we really appreciate what you have done today. If you didn't know, Joyce did this for free. Joyce did this for free. Lufuno is asking you, when are you visiting South Africa? So you
Lufuno, just invite me and pay half of the ticket. That's all, not the full ticket, just half. I will be there.
There we go. Take your coronavirus vaccine before you go.
Please.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Lovely Thursday evening. We're again to next week at 5 p.m. We'll bring another powerful woman. This month is Women's Month, and it is about women. And you can see the women are dishing out the value big time. Thank you, Joyce. Thank you, everyone. Have a fantastic evening and
Thank
all
you.
the best. All the
Bye.
best. Bye.